Welcome to Villamania YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your comments in our previous tutorial, and thanks to your questions and asks, in today's tutorial we are going to create those lovely tassel earrings featuring our most favorite sunflower design. As always, I'm going to show you step-by-step way to create those earrings. And as always, in the download section, you can find a free pattern which we're going to use for the beaded part of the element. I hope you will like this new design of the earrings, which are a little bit unusual for us. So let's do it. First, let's look into the materials which we're going to need. We're going to use Delica 11 size. We will use number 200 for the white color, number 10 for black, 1132 for bright yellow, 163 for dark green, 169 for lighter green, and 1834 for the golden bits. We will need a beading needle 11 size, a pair of scissors, and beading thread, white color Miyuki thread. I prefer to use this one. Then we will also this time create the tassel. For the tassel, we will need any type of nylon thread, a piece of carton 8 centimeters long, and to finish earrings, we will need couple of the earring hooks, couple of the jump rings, and couple of the pliers to fix the fittings. While we are preparing our crafting space, pulling some beads onto our space, etc., I would like to remind you that on our channel we have a very detailed tutorial on how to do peyote stitch. This tutorial was created for beginners, so you see the link in the upper right corner right now. So please have a look into that if you are new to peyote stitching. I take about 70-80 centimeters of beading thread. I put my stop bead at the end of the thread, and with that we are ready to start. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment or like if you like this video, and of course bring us your questions and we will be happy to answer them. Let's talk a little bit about the pattern. It is available for the free download in the description section of this video. Our pattern has 3 repetitive cycles. Every cycle is consisting of 10 rows. So together we are going to do cycle 1 and 2, and then you are going to make the third one by yourself. In the pattern you have a clear colored description of each color we're going to use. As always in peyote stitch, we are going first to put all the beads for row 1 and 2 together. So in this row we are going to have 1 gold, 2 whites, light green, white, light green, white, dark green, 2 whites, light green, and white. So what you need to do is to put all of those beads one by one together, first on your needle, and then you pull all those beads through until you reach the stop bead. These are your first 2 rows. Now we move to create row number 3. In this row we're going to have 1 yellow, 1 dark green, and 4 white beads. To begin your peyote stitch, you pick up 1 new yellow bead, skip the first bead from your thread, and move your needle through the second bead in line. You pick up the next bead, skip next bead on the thread, and put your needle through the next bead in line. Pull the thread, make sure the bead is placed into its right position. You pick up the next bead, skip one from the line, put your needle through the next one. Repeat. So you take 1 new bead, skip one, and put your needle through the next one in line. Pick up next bead, skip one, put your needle through next one. And now you have 2 beads left on your thread. So you pick up one last bead in row 3, skip 1 bead, and put your needle through the last golden bead. Here are your first 3 rows of peyote. They look a little bit like a brick wall. That's how peyote stitch is looking. We can move to row number 4. In this row we have 1 gold, 3 whites, 1 dark green, and 1 yellow. To create row 4, you need to take new bead and move your needle through the bead which stands out in the row number 3. So again, you are sort of creating a brick wall by picking up 1 new bead and moving your needle through the next bead which stands out in the previous row. One more. Another white. Dark green. And 1 yellow bead. And again, you move your needle through the bead which stands out. In that case, it would be yellow bead from the row 3. We're moving to row number 5. From now on, we're going to repeat the process exactly as we did for the previous row. So we pick up black for the center of the sunflower, move your needle through the bead which stands out, which was yellow, pull the thread a little bit so that beads are well positioned, pick up the next one, dark green, move your needle through the bead which stands out, white, another dark green, and 2 more white beads. Now we move to row 6. In this row we have 1 gold, 2 whites, 1 yellow, 1 white, and another yellow. Pick up gold, move your needle through the next bead in the row which stands out, which was white. And you continue peyoting, repeating the steps exactly as in previous rows. 2 white beads, yellow for the next sunflower, another white, and another yellow. In our next row, row 7, we are going to have 1 yellow, 1 white, 2 yellow, and 2 white beads. Yellow, white, two yellow for the sunflower, and 2 white beads. Here is what we have so far. Now we'll do row 8. In this row we have 1 gold, white, dark green, black, white, and light green. Don't forget to pull the thread from time to time so that your work is precise. We added gold, now white, dark green, black for the center of the second sunflower, white, and light green, and we exit in our normal way through the yellow petal, petal number 4. In next step, we need to finish our first sunflower, and to do that, we need to add 2 yellow beads to form 2 more petals. So you pick up 2 yellow beads at the same time, and now you need to create a circle with your thread. To do that, you move your needle through the very first yellow petal which you created few rows ago. Now you move your needle through the second yellow petal into the same direction, right to left. I'm right-handed, so in my case it's right to left. And now you need to return the needle to the position, so you go backwards, now from left to right, through petal number 3, and you exit with your needle with the petal number 4. By doing this, you are now positioned well to create row 9. We finished our first sunflower, and in row 9 we are going to have 1 white, light green, 2 yellow and 2 white beads. You pick up white and you move your needle through standing out light green bead. And now you can continue. Adding light green, 2 yellows for the second sunflower, and 2 white beads. Here is what we have so far. Now we need to do row 10, which will be the last row in our first cycle of beading. In this row we have 1 gold, 1 white, light green, yellow and 2 more whites. So we added gold, white, light green, yellow, which is the last petal of the second sunflower, and 2 more white beads. With that, we finished our first stage of beading, so we created the first full cycle, which is finished, and now we're going to repeat exactly the same rows 1 more time. As you can see on the pattern, their cycles are the same. Our next row, which is 11, is exactly the same as row number 1. So we continue. I will speed up the video a little bit. In our next row 11, we have 2 white, dark green, 2 light greens and 1 white bead. Next row 12. In that row we have gold, 4 white beads and 1 light green. Don't forget to pull your thread. We move to next row, row 13. In this row we have yellow, dark green and 4 white beads. So let's do it. 1 yellow for the third sunflower, dark green and 4 white beads. Next row is row 14. In this row we have 1 gold, 3 white, 1 dark green and 1 yellow bead. We added gold, now 3 white beads. Dark green and yellow. In row 15, we have 1 black, 1 dark green, white, dark green, and 2 more white beads. Here is what we have so far. We move to row 16. In this row we have gold, 2 white, yellow, white, and yellow bead. Next row 17. In this row we have yellow, white, 2 yellow and 2 white beads. And now we move to next row, which is row 18. In that row we have gold, white, dark green, black, white, and light green. And in the end of this row, we will add 2 petals for our third sunflower. So we added gold and white. Now dark green and black for the center of the fourth sunflower. Another white and light green. And we exit into the yellow petal, petal number 4. And now we will add 2 yellow petals. So you pick up 2 yellow beads at the same time. Move your needle through the very first petal of this sunflower. Now you move your needle through the second petal of the sunflower, moving from right to left. And now you revert backwards and move your needle through petal number 3 and exit through petal number 4. So again, your needle is positioned correctly to make the next row. Our next row, 19, has white, light green, 2 yellow and 2 white beads. So let's make it. Two yellow beads for the petals of the fourth sunflower, and finish this row with 2 white beads. And now we need to create the last row of the second cycle, row 20. In this row we have 1 gold, 1 white, light green, yellow, and 2 more white beads. With that, we finished our second cycle. Now you need to repeat one more time rows from 11 to 20. As you can see, we have one more cycle to go, and the next row you need to make is exactly as row 11. Use the pattern of this video to create 10 more rows, and I will see you soon for the next step. Now our beaded element is ready for zipping. So here is our element that has 6 sunflowers in total. We need to zip this element together to shape a tube. So we have some standing out beads on both sides of our element, and we need to zip it. You fold the element in halves, and you move your existing needle with a thread through every standing out bead on each side. You move your needle through the bead which stands out on the left, then on the right, now again on the left, and you continue doing that using the principle of zipper until you reach the end of your element. One more on the left side, standing out yellow bead on the right, standing out bead on the left, now on the right side again, Next standing out bead on the left, standing out bead on the right, another one on the left, and you finish your zipping by exiting into the gold bead. Now when you pull your thread, you will see that you shaped a precise tube, and you cannot even see the place where you actually made your zipping process. All we need to do now is just secure both threads, which we have. To secure the thread, you need to move your needle diagonally through multiple beads in multiple directions. As you can see, I'm going maybe for 2 or 3 beads in one direction, then I'm going for another 2 or 3 beads in the opposite direction. And I continue doing that a few times until I feel that my thread is secured and I can actually cut it. Delica beads are very precise and they fit well next to each other. That's why you do not need to make any knots. So I cut the thread. Here is our tube. And now I will just secure the second thread, which I had from the very, very beginning of my work. I move needle several times back and forth diagonally through the beads to make sure it's secure. And then I will also cut it. Here is our beaded tube with lovely sunflowers standing out from one edge and the golden line on the other edge to shape the form. And now we can make a tassel. I'm honestly not very good at making tassels, but recently I've been doing them for some of my earrings. So to do the tassel, you need to pick up your nylon thread. I usually put a bobbin on the floor. It's very comfortable and it's convenient. It doesn't interfere with what my hands do. I pick up this carton piece, which is 8 centimeters long, and I just start rolling circles around this element. Don't hurry. Try to make sure you sort of maybe meditating doing this job, because it's going to be a process which will take you a few minutes. I'm speeding up my video a little bit, so by now I made like 100 rolls around the carton, 200 rolls, 300 rolls, and now I'm finishing making 400 rolls around my carton. Now I can cut the thread. Now I take another half meter of the nylon thread, put it through the needle and make the double knot in the end. My white paper base is not very thick. It allows me to make it curved and separate the thread from the base. I'm using the space between the thread and the base to move my needle under the thread, and then I will make a double knot. After I've secured my thread with double knot, I can now create a few loops with this thread to tighten the top of my tassel. I hope you can see on the video how I do that. And I'm repeating this step multiple times. So again, putting my needle under the thread on the carton, shaping the loop, and pulling the thread. Don't overdo it so that the top of your tassel is not very thick. Now you need to carefully take off all the thread which you put on the carton from the carton. And here is our small circle of multiple threads. To finish the top of the tassel, you will need a tube. You can use the laminated paper tubes which come with embroidery thread, or you can also use the plastic tubes which come with the brushes for painting, for example. I'm going to use this laminated piece from the embroidery thread. You put your needle through this tube and carefully pull your tassel into this paper curved piece so that the tassel is symmetrical. The center of your tassel is symmetrical as well. Identify the edge of your tassel. Now I move my needle to the very, very edge of this paper piece, putting my thumb to secure the position of the paper. I roll the thread around to shape the top of the tassel. And when I'm confident that the top of the tassel is good and beautiful, I take off this laminated paper piece and secure my thread with a couple of the knots. And then I move my needle through the tassel to hide the thread. Don't cut the thread yet, because we're going to use it to connect the jump ring. For that, you move your needle through the very top of your tassel, and you simply put on the jump ring and connect it with your thread to the tassel. Simply put your jump ring on the thread and make a few stitches to connect it to the tassel. For this earring, you can use both normal jump ring, or you can also use the closed jump ring. You can actually connect maybe a bead first to the tassel and then put the earring hook. So this design is fully up to you. I decided to make it a more minimalistic design because I think the accent should go onto the beaded element of the earring. Our jump ring is now connected. And now we need to make the last step is to actually trim the tassel. To do that, I'm using the same piece of laminated paper from my embroidery. I move it as close to the edge of the tassel as possible. And using the normal scissors, I just cut the edge to shape a precise edge of the tassel. Cut all the standing out threads, and you shape the edge of the tassel for your earring. Here is our tassel. It looks a little bit messy, but we will fix it soon. Now you very carefully need to put your beaded element on top of the tassel. Rolling the nylon thread over the carton base for 400 times allows us to fit the beaded piece of the earring precisely onto the tassel. You can make it a little bit thinner, but don't try to make it thicker, so 400 times rolling out is enough. You can also thread your beaded element to the tassel if you want those two elements to be fixed together. I prefer not to do that. It allows me actually to change the colors of the tassels from earring to earring. And all we're left to do is just connect the earring hook. And here is our earring. To straighten my tassel, I'm using a very traditional method, which is putting it on top of the water steam. Hot water steam will straighten the tassel. Just make sure you're holding your earring with the pliers to avoid any burning of your hand. So with that, we finished our first tassel earring. I think it looks really elegant, it's colorful. The tassel adds a little bit of the tenderness to this piece of craft. It's also quite bright. It's very light because the beads and the tassel nylon thread are light. Use the available pattern or rewatch this tutorial to create the second earring. We really hope you liked this design and made it and crafted it together with us. Please subscribe to our channel, leave us a like or press the bell to receive notifications about our future tutorials. Let us know how was this crafting project for you and look forward to hear your comments and answer your questions as we always do. Thank you very much for watching our tutorial and happy crafting!